When you envision what traveling Route 66 would be like, I believe that this portion of the route offers it all. For us, it was what I would call the ideal vision of the Mother Road. The drive from Vega to Blue Hole in Santa Rosa will not disappoint you all. From the quirky to the abandoned to the old neon signs, historical motels, and all those amazing route markers, it can be found on this stretch of the road, and then some. My goodness, we sure love this portion of the trip. More time than planned was spent here because there was just so much to take in. We started our day in Amarillo, Texas at 8 a.m. and we finished our day in Bernalillo, New Mexico at 7 p.m. with a little bit of detours in between. First stop, Vega, Texas. This is just west of Amarillo. Now it is small, but it is surely worth the visit. There are some odd things here, things that the route is known for. Things like a metal dinosaur sculpture, an extra large brand, a bull, and a blade from a wind turbine that you can actually walk to or go up inside of. If you're really looking around, you might even spot a little green man driving around in an old truck. One thing that I love is to find, see, and take pictures of murals in the downtown areas. You'll find several of those here in Vega. One is a great Route 66 marker with the town name, making it an ideal spot to get those selfies, to show you were there. A highlight here is the restored Magnolia service station. Originally built in the 1920s, it served gasoline for Route 66 travelers in the community for decades. At some point, living quarters were for the station's operators upstairs, and apparently at a time there was also a barbershop. Now, with the development of I-40 coming through in the 1970s, it ended up closing and it sat vacant for about 30 years. The city pulled together, got some grants, and did some restoration on this beautiful building. Something worth a mention here is in this stretch on I-40 around Arden, Texas, there's some great picnic sites, even with a grill. So this is a great opportunity to get out, stretch your legs, and have a little lunch. Okay. Get your pen and paper and take a note. This is a do not miss, you must see town. That is Tucumcari, New Mexico. Oh my goodness, it had to be one of our favorites on the entire trip. Could be the favorite, but at least in the top 3. All that traveling can make you hungry. Our bellies were growling and it was lunchtime. Now, we had read about La Cita in one of our books and thought we'd give it a try. It's located in Tucumcari, New Mexico. The food was wonderful. Service was great. They do have some souvenirs and things inside for sale. But much to our surprise, there is a little art gallery inside here. While you're inside waiting on your delicious food to arrive, there's no shortage on things to look at. It is all around you. The artwork is on almost every wall, and it's for sale. Now, it was a bit more than I could pay on this trip because the trip was a little expensive, but I am sure it is worth every penny you could spend if you can afford it. Now, there are some pieces that if I'd have had the extra money, they would have come home with me. There was a couple of cows that would have looked really good with my cow collection in my fair office. And I'm not really into monkeys, but there was a couple of monkeys. The lighting was just spectacular and the painting was just gorgeous. Prices on the ones that I looked at seem to range from $150 for the smallest one to $1,100 for some of the bigger ones. Now, I didn't look at all of them. Could have been some more expensive, but they are absolutely worth what you would pay. You hear that sizzle, baby? Fajitas is what we had, and they were excellent. In the book we had to help us plan our trips, we had read about the TP Curios and had planned to stop. Now, this is a gift shop, and it is stuffed with all sorts of gifts and souvenirs. We made several purchases here and really enjoyed talking to the people that were working in there that day. They do have a neon sign, and it's supposed to be really pretty at night, but we were there during the day, and it was going to be a long time before dark, so we didn't get to see that. But this is also located in Tucumcari, New Mexico. Do you remember the artist I told you about, Doug Quarles, who had all those pretty pictures in the Mexican restaurant? Well, after I got home, I learned some interesting facts. He is responsible for many of the murals you will find in downtown Tucumcari. And, oddly enough, he was there painting a mural on the wall of the restaurant the day we were there, and we had no idea. His mural work is spectacular as well. If you want to learn more about that, find me on Substack. I have a lot of information that will lead you back to learn more about him and his murals around town. This is one of his murals as well. This one is called Texaco 66 and is the perfect place for a selfie op. This one is located on the old Texaco station. This is right downtown, located on Route 66. A wonderful spot to get out, walk around, take some pictures. There is now a shop in here called Bear Wild Creations. In this same area on Route 66, you're going to find old motels. Some of them are abandoned, and it appears there's some that are still in business. They have beautiful old signs, which I'm sure are gorgeous at night. One of the hotels is the Apache, which is abandoned, and it looks like the Palomino and the Amara are still open for business. If you want what I believe is a very iconic Route 66 picture, then be sure to stop at the Blue Swallow Hotel. The sky was so pretty this day, and it just made it even better. But I'm guessing this sign is pretty awesome at night lit up. I'm going to say it again. A night trip to these towns would be a great idea. We are still in Tucumcari, y'all. Now, just down the road a little bit, on Route 66, you can find a unique Route 66 marker, a museum, and a working wind turbine located at the New Mexico Route 66 Museum. Now, we didn't go inside. We were sort of pressed for time because we had spent so much time running around town. This might be an interesting stop to take a little extra time. As you're leaving the museum and headed out of town, you're going to come through a section that has numerous old gas stations. We spent a lot of time in this area just snapping pictures. There was hardly any traffic. It was easy to pull on and off, and it was well worth the extra time we spent here. The western scene you see here on the side of the Magnolia station is again another one of Doug Quarles' murals. When I posted this picture on Facebook while we were on our trip, a friend of mine brought to my attention the irony of the picture. The Shell station sign with the shell of the building left in the background. and the building doesn't even really look that old. Our time in Tucumcari had come to an end. It was time to move on. I will say this, do not skip this town. This is a must for your Route 66 trip. I would for sure allow at least 2 to 3 hours, probably more if you want to do the museum and more shopping. And I do believe that it would be a great place to spend the night. We were back on I-40 again and needed a little bit of gas, so we pulled off into a little town called Newkirk, New Mexico. Yay, it ended up being another multi-purpose stop. Didn't plan it, but there was a teeny little post office there. I had some postcards ready to go out, and I went in and also bought some postcard stamps. Also went in the little store, and there was this special little visitor there, a chicken. It seems there was some dog food outside the door, so I guess he's figured out how to get him a free meal. Our next stop was going to be Santa Rosa, New Mexico, looking for the blue hole. I'm going to be honest, we were not sure what that was, but once we got there, it was stunning. And what a treasure for the community here. It is free. The depth of the water is 81 feet, and the outflow is 3,000 gallons per minute with a constant temperature of 61 degrees.